The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. John Dinkins here with we're talking with head coach of the Riverdale Warriors, Michael Voss. And Michael, a lot of great things happening at Riverdale, including a lot of construction. I know that's you've been with that for about 2 years now, but tell me a little bit about this Adidas Classic, because I think that's an exciting chance to see some teams around the area.
So it's one of the things about 7 years ago, pretty early, right before COVID hit, we put this thing together, and it was originally intended to just be about a 4 or 16 deal and bring some of the better boys teams into some of the better Middle Tennessee boys teams into one place and play. And what we've ended up doing is this year it's a 2-day deal with a 16-team field. And if you look, we've got 4 of the top 8 teams right now that are ranked in 4A basketball. We've got Ensworth, we've got Brentwood Academy, Science Hill and Bearden from East Tennessee have come to play in this. Grundy County, who's got one of the better players in the state at their level. And then you've got some Rutherford County teams in Siegel and us and Laverne and Oakland and Stewart's Creek all playing at the same place. And so it was a really good day of basketball yesterday. We had, for the most part, very competitive games. And today, hopefully that trend's going to kind of stick.
It's funny how something small turns out to be such a big event, really. That probably wasn't your intention to begin with, but it was mainly, I guess, just to get some playing time around the Christmas break.
Well, it was, and a chance to get a couple more home games, because those are harder and harder to get. Last year we actually ended up having 3 days worth of games, and we had a field that was big enough that we actually had to farm some games out to we played some games over at Siegel as well. The field got that big, which was too big for us to manage. So the thing that we decided this year was we're just going to find 16 teams, the first 16 to sign up. Like, we're going to host them here. We'll just have 2 all-day events. And one of the things we talked with these teams about was we made them commit to both days, whereas a lot of times in Classic, you'll get the team come in for one day or another one. We talked it up, and we said, look, if you want to come, we're going to make this a 2-day event. You got to commit to it. And we ended up with what I think is one of the best fields in the state.
Yeah, it's some real exciting teams in there. You had an exciting game yesterday in the overtime loss. Tell us a little bit about that game, and then I want to talk about the season, because what I'm seeing is some improvement from your guys in a real close overtime loss yesterday.
Well, we lost to Rossview yesterday in overtime. We had a chance a couple of times to not necessarily completely salt it away, but we did miss some free throws late that would have helped us flip the game. And it's one of those things where it's a learning experience. We did find some things out about us yesterday. We did some things offensively a little bit differently than what we've been doing. I thought we were much more selective and played with a lot of purpose yesterday. And in doing that, our shot selection was the best that it's been all year. And because of that, we shot the highest percentage we've shot all year. It's amazing how we've talked with our guys about we want to make sure we're getting good shots. And, with young guys trying to find their way, we've taken some bad ones along the way. But yesterday I thought was our most complete game on the offensive end. And then defensively, Rossview they've got a kid in the Rose kid that is one of the better players in the state. And we did some things defensively that we have not done before to try and take him out of the game, or at least limit his touches. You're not going to completely take a scorer like him out of the game, but you want to try and limit what they do. In regulation, we held him to about 7 or 8 points below his average. He scored 5 in the overtime, which was a big 5 for them, obviously. And again, we found some things out about us defensively as well. The one thing that we got exposed on was rebounding. Like, they kind of got us there because they were a bigger team. They were a little bit more physical than we were. But we figured out some things about us yesterday that hopefully is going to carry us into district play.
And I don't know that anybody doesn't know that how young you are, and a lot of sophomores, and it's a battle to get them to play 4 quarters, and that's kind of what you're looking for, I think. And yesterday you kind of did that, but then there's lapses, and free throws and those kind of things. It's hard for those young kids, to put that all together for 4 quarters, but. It seems like, and I was looking at some of your schedule and some of the games, they have gotten closer and closer, and you've been in pretty much every game that you've played in. And is that a fact that because of the sometimes not putting the 4 quarters together, that you have a little lapse and then they get a lead, you come back and that kind of thing? Is that kind of the story to the season so far?
Well, we talked about it yesterday. I feel like we've talked about it in every game. Like, we had a little stretch yesterday where we were down 13-10 at the end of the first quarter, and then the first minute and a half of the second quarter, they go on a 7-0, 8-0 run. They got it to 21-10, and it was the worst minute and a half that we played all day yesterday. And when you go back and look at it, like, you can look and see where we lost the game and what we did. It was the only minute and a half where we really settled for shots. We took the 3 worst shots we took all day, we took in that stretch. And it led to layups and 3 balls for them on the other end, and it ended up being that thing that we couldn't overcome. So when you talk about it, when we looked at it, to us, we put together 30 really good minutes, but the 2 bad minutes is what got us. And even in the overtime, I thought we played really well in the overtime. We had chances to win that game. We just couldn't quite finish it.
It's a question too, I guess, Michael, of just getting over that hump. Get that win and finish a game, and that is so difficult for young kids to really realize that they're in the game and they can finish it, but sometimes they just come up short.
Well, and that's what I thought. We had the lead with 10 seconds left. Ross, you had the ball, and we had what I thought was a really, really tough foul called on us on their best player with us being up 1. He went to the line with 3 seconds left and made 2 free throws, and we got a shot off at the rim, but it was a half-court heave that almost went in. It's just one of those things we got to learn from. And, breaking through the wall is the hardest thing to do. It always has been. It always will be. Everybody wants to win, but sometimes it's just getting that first win. I know this. When we get the first win, like, we're going to get several of them at a time. We just got to learn how to get through that wall and get through that hump.
We're talking to Michael Voss, head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. And, Michael, the schedule today, I'm sure you've got a slate of games, and it's going to be a long day for you, I would think. Sometimes it's hard to be what you'd say, the tournament director in these kind of things.
Well, we're kicking it off here in about 20 minutes, or in about, I guess, 50 minutes. We've got Franklin and Laverne right out of the gate.
Oh, wow.
Which, if you look, Laverne's a state tournament team from last year that's got some key pieces back. Franklin right now is a top 5 team in the state, and then after that game, you've got Bearden and Independence, which is 2 of the best teams in the state. It's great matchup after great matchup. Science Hill and Centennial play today. Brentwood Academy and Hillsboro play, which, if you haven't seen Hillsboro play, they're an absolutely fantastic team. And then Stewart's Creek Brentwood is our 4:00 game. Rossview and Oakland is 5:30, and then we play Innsworth at 7, followed by Grundy and Siegel at 8:30. And when you look at that slate of teams and you look at those games, again, yesterday, for the most part, games were decided by about 5 or 6 points or less. Every single one of them was a competitive game. Every single one of them was a pretty good game. And again, hopefully that trend is going to stick today because I think we've got a really, really good slate of games here.
Michael, that is a really good slate of basketball games. A person can spend the whole day at Riverdale and they have them a really nice time for a good little price too.
Yeah, I mean, $10 to get in is valid all day. And the thing about it is I think you can go anywhere else in the state today and you're not going to find a better field. And that's, again, what we strive to put together early. That's why we do this thing. I've already had about half the teams commit to coming back for next year when we have this. So it's going to hopefully continue to kind of be what it is.
What's the plan for Christmas break? I know you'll give them a few days to kind of celebrate Christmas, and then after Christmas, what's the plan?
Well, we're going to take, after today, we're going to take 4 days off all the way through Christmas. And we'll come back in on the 26th and practice. And then we play the 27th and the 28th over at Centennial High School. We've got Franklin on the first day over there, and then we've got Hickman County, who is a double-A state tournament team from last year on the second day. So between Ensworth, Franklin, and Hickman County, we've got three really, really good opponents and three really tough games coming up for us. But, again, we've been growing every game, and that's the thing that we want to continue to do is we're going to kind of continue to just grow over this break so that when we get back from Christmas, like the one thing that we're going to be is we're going to be tested.
That's for sure.
We're going to have played everybody, and I think if you look at our schedule, you know, with this group, it's been one of the hardest schedules in the state. But again, we've gotten better and we've handled some things well as we've gone along. Now we just got to find ways to continue to improve.
Well, Michael, have a great day today in the tournament, and you guys have a nice Christmas. Okay, say hi to April for me.
I will. Merry Christmas, John. Y'all have a great one.
Yes, sir. That's Michael Voss, head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. We're going to be talking some Smyrna basketball, but before, I need to tell you that this portion of the show is brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces. Online at mullinsjewelry.com. We'll be right back.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.